The first thing people noticed about Emily was what they didn't hear. No greetings, no small talk. 12 years of silence wrapped around her like a second skin. At first, teachers thought she was just shy. Neighbors whispered that maybe she was slow, broken, strange. Friends gave up trying to get her to speak, until eventually they stopped trying at all. But Emily wasn't broken. She was surviving. Behind her quiet eyes lived stories she didn't dare tell. Stories of nights spent hiding under beds, of hands that hurt instead of holding, of trust shattered before she even knew the meaning of the word. Silence became her armor. If she didn't speak, she couldn't be judged. If she didn't speak, she couldn't be hurt again. And so, she moved through the world like a ghost, present but unseen. Until one day, sitting in the corner of an ordinary coffee shop, something happened that cracked the silence she had spent years building. A boy with messy hair and kind eyes dropped his notebook. Papers spilled everywhere, dancing across the floor like tiny lost ships. Without thinking, Emily bent down to help him gather them. Their hands touched for a brief second. He smiled, a real smile, one that didn't ask anything from her. One that didn't expect her to be more than what she was. And for the first time in 12 years, Emily felt something unfamiliar stir in her chest, something dangerously close to hope. Emily didn't know why she stayed. Normally, after an interaction like that, she would vanish, blend into the background, retreat back into her shell. But this time, she lingered. The boy, his name was Noah, she overheard, sat near the window, sketching absent-mindedly in his notebook. A coffee in front of him grew cold as he lost himself in lines and shapes. Emily watched from her corner. She wasn't sure what fascinated her more, the drawings, or the ease with which he existed. No noise, no chaos, just quiet focus. When Noah caught her staring, he didn't smirk or roll his eyes like others did. Instead, he tilted his sketchbook slightly, as if offering her a glimpse inside his world. Drawings of forests, oceans, cities built of dreams. Pages full of life where words weren't necessary. Emily felt her heart thud against her ribs. Without thinking, she picked up a napkin and a pen left abandoned on the table. Her hands trembled as she scribbled two simple words. Beautiful work. She slid the napkin across the table toward Noah, her fingers retreating quickly, as if the act might burn her. Noah read it, looked at her, and smiled again, warmer this time. Then, to her shock, he scribbled something back and pushed the napkin toward her. "Thank you. You just made my day." Emily's throat tightened. Tears she didn't expect prickled the corners of her eyes. 12 years of silence. And now, two strangers speaking in a language older than words. Kindness. Something inside her cracked open, just a little bit more. Days passed. Emily kept returning to the coffee shop, always at the same corner table. And Noah was always there too, sketching quietly, never asking questions she couldn't answer. Their conversations grew, not with words, but with notes, doodles, and silent laughter shared over spilled coffee and smudged ink. One afternoon, as rain tapped gently against the windows, Noah slid a new napkin across to her. It had a single question written in shaky handwriting. "What's your favorite place in the world?" Emily froze. She hadn't been asked anything real in so long that the question felt enormous, like trying to lift a mountain. Her mind raced. Was it a real place? A memory? A dream she had buried long ago? Slowly, she picked up the pen. Her hand moved almost on its own, drawing rough lines of a tree on a hilltop, alone but strong, with wide branches stretching toward a sky full of stars. Noah studied her drawing for a long time. Then he nodded, as if he understood everything she couldn't say. "You belong under big skies," he wrote underneath it. Emily felt something warm rise up in her chest, a kind of acknowledgement she hadn't realized she'd been starving for. For the first time in 12 years, someone had seen her, not as a problem to fix, but as a person to know. And deep inside her silence, a tiny, stubborn seed of trust began to grow. One evening, the cafe was louder than usual. A group of students gathered near the counter, laughing too loudly, their energy buzzing against the quiet corners. Emily sat frozen in her seat, every muscle tense. Noise always made her feel small, like the world was too big to survive in. She stared down at her hands, willing herself to disappear. Suddenly she heard it. One of the boys, mocking her, whispered words just loud enough to sting. "Freak. Mute girl. Probably doesn't even understand English." Heat rushed to Emily's face. Shame wrapped around her like a choking scarf. Before she could retreat, before she could slip back into the safety of invisibility, Noah stood up, without anger, without shouting. He simply walked over to their table, picked up their scattered papers, and said, "She speaks more through her silence than any of you ever could with your noise." The room fell quiet. Noah returned to their table, sat down across from her, and offered the smallest, kindest smile. Emily's hands trembled. No one had ever defended her before. No one had ever treated her silence as something valuable, not broken. A tear slipped down her cheek before she could stop it. And for the first time in 12 long years, without thinking, without planning, Emily opened her mouth. A tiny, cracked word escaped. "Thank you." The sound of it shocked even her. Rough, weak, but real. Noah's smile widened, not pitying, not surprised, just proud. And just like that, the dam Emily had built inside herself shifted, cracked, and began slowly to crumble. The next day, Emily didn't hide. For the first time in 12 years, she walked into the cafe, not like a ghost, but like a girl who belonged somewhere. The regulars noticed. A small nod, a gentle smile. Even the barista, who had never heard her voice before, gave her a free cookie without saying a word. Emily sat at her usual table, hands steady for once. Noah was already there, sketching. This time, Emily didn't write on a napkin. She didn't draw a picture. She simply said, voice rough but determined, "Can I see what you're working on?" Noah looked up, surprise flickering across his face, but not disbelief. He turned the notebook around and showed her a drawing. A lone tree under a vast, starry sky. Her tree, her stars. Emily's breath caught. It wasn't just a drawing. It was a conversation, a memory, a map back to a part of herself she thought she had lost forever. "That's you," Noah said softly. "You're not broken, Emily. You're just growing." Tears welled up again, but this time they didn't scare her, because for the first time, Emily realized her silence had never been empty. It had been full of survival, full of stories waiting for the right person to listen. And somehow, she had found him. Months passed. Emily didn't become the loudest person in the room. She didn't suddenly crave attention or fill every silence with words. But she spoke when it mattered. She laughed, softly, like music barely heard in the distance. She even started writing poems, tiny ones, that she left tucked between the pages of library books for strangers to find. And every Friday evening, she and Noah met at the same coffee shop, sketchbooks and poems scattered between them like fallen leaves. One rainy afternoon, Noah gave her a small box. Inside was a silver pendant, simple, unassuming, shaped like a tiny tree reaching up to the stars. Noah smiled and said, "Because you're not finished growing yet." Emily clutched the pendant in her hand, feeling its coolness against her skin. Feeling, for the first time in as long as she could remember, not like a ghost, but like a person made of stories, of storms survived, of roots planted deep. She realized then, she had never really been silent. She had been gathering strength. And now, her voice wasn't just sound. It was choice. It was power. As she fastened the necklace around her neck, Emily smiled. The kind of smile that needed no explanation. After 12 years of silence, she had finally found her voice. And it wasn't broken. It was beautiful.